I had green hair. It was very green. I had to cancel this lash party that I really wanted to go to because my hair was green. Hey y'all, if you're new here, I'm April.Kristine. Welcome to my channel. And if you're not new here, hey boo, I see you coming back. As you can see from the title of today's video, I am going to be exposing myself yet again. I'm going to walk you through all of the mistakes that I've made while being blonde. That's while I was bleaching my hair, after bleaching my hair, upkeeping my hair, bleaching my root, just some of the mistakes that I've made. That way, if you are on your blonde journey or you run into some of the problems I ran into, this information is here for you on how to correct certain things and what not to do, most importantly. I have finally made the decision that I am going back to my natural color. This blonde was cute. She was a moment or whatever, but it's time. I need to give my hair a break. As much as I love my blonde hair, the root situation, I'm not a fan of. The upkeep, I'm not a fan of. So yeah, I've decided to make that transition. I'm not exactly sure when that's happening, but of course I will take you on that journey once it does come. But for right now, I wanted to film this video before that happens. Let me say, I am in no way, shape, or form a licensed cosmetologist. I've had several cosmetologists inbox me telling me to please go to a hairstylist, and I just refuse to. I just would rather do it on my own. I've spent a lot of money at salons and have never walked out with what I wanted. And that's because they're on a time schedule, they're booked. If you have, somebody who does your hair or somebody you've been to before that you absolutely love, absolutely go talk to them about what you want to do. But for me, I've just never found somebody that I completely trust that has given me exactly what I wanted. So again, I was virgin hair, nothing had been done to my hair. It wasn't super damaged. It was very healthy when I decided to bleach my hair. So that's part of the reason that I did it on my own, is because I've paid $300 for like baby highlights that were super yellow and just made my hair look ashy. It was not at all what I needed it to be. I also had somebody else, I wanted purple underneath my hair when I went to college, and it winded up being blue when she tried to convince me it was purple after I'd already paid for it. And I've just never been in a situation where I shelled out a bunch of money and was completely happy with my results. So that's why I decided to do it on my own. But I am in no way a licensed cosmetologist. I am in no way, shape, or form. Just know that what I'm telling you is completely my own experience on my own hair. I've never done anybody else's hair. This is just my journey and what I've learned. So there's that. Let's get into it. I have written down 5 of the mistakes that I've made. If any more come to mind, I will pop them in. But as of right now, we're sticking with lucky number 5. If you are not aware, it's been 2 years, almost 2 years. September of this year will be 2 years that I've been blonde. I went blonde in September 2020 when we were on lockdown and I didn't have anything to do. If you haven't seen that video, it is up on my channel. It's my top viewed video of my entire channel. It was even featured on Mondo's channel. I will link both of those videos down below, my original video and his reaction to my original video. So she's been good to me. But let me tell you, as much as she was good to me on the internet, in real life, she's been kind of, sneaky. And the very first mistake that I made, you can see me make it in the original video that I posted, is I did not buy enough bleach. When I tell you you're gonna need a lot of bleach, you're gonna need a lot of bleach. My hair is not very thick. It's not very coarse. I don't have a lot of hair, and I still needed a lot of bleach. I had, I think, originally bought like 2 packets of bleach, and I just winded up going to buy the tub. And I know the tub is like $25, $26 at Sally's, but you're gonna need it. So buy it. Worst case scenario, you're gonna have to keep touching up your roots. You're gonna use all your bleach, I promise. You continue to be blonde if that's what you want to do. That's definitely mistake number 1 that I made. I didn't have enough bleach. I processed the bleach that I had, and then I had to keep running back to the store because I was out of things. So just a rule of thumb, buy more bleach than you think you're gonna need. Make sure you have everything you're going to need before you start. Just make sure you're on top of everything. You have your bleach, you have your shampoo and conditioner that you're gonna use to wash it out, you have gloves, you have some sort of applicator, because what you don't want to do is go in with bleach just on, you can use your hands, but it's just more precise if you have an applicator, especially because the first round you're gonna do your ends, and then when you go back to do your roots, it's just gonna be a lot easier if you have some sort of applicator. Obviously, your measuring utensils you're gonna need. I see a lot of people try to eyeball it, and I'm sure that's fine, but for me, I'm just so OCD with my measurements, and I want to make sure everything is right. So I always have something to measure out what I'm doing, whether it's with a weight scale like I did in my video, or it's like per tablespoon, whatever the case may be. You are also going to need plenty of developer. So just keep in mind, if you're really dark, you're gonna have to bleach your hair a few times. That's why you're gonna need a lot of product on hand. So just make sure you have enough product for your hair and your hair type. Yeah, that was the very first mistake that I made, is not having enough bleach. Mistake number 2 is, after bleaching my hair the first time and getting such an amazing result, it kind of set me up for failure later on, because I felt like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I know how to get to where I got, and I got there in the first try. But without remembering that that was such a process for me, it took me so many days to film that video, and so much process behind the video that actually went into getting my hair that platinum blonde, or the blonde that it was. By the time it was time for me to re-bleach my roots, I kind of psyched myself out with how easy it was the first time. Just because it was easy the first time to go completely blonde, that was different because I was going over my virgin hair. All of it needed to be done at one time. I wasn't scared of overlapping. So when I went to go bleach my roots the first time, I made a mistake by thinking I could use a slower developer for whatever reason. Just know which developer you're using. So I think the first time that I bleached my roots, I went in with like a 20 volume, and I don't know why I did that, but I just didn't get as much lift as I would have got if I would have just went in with a 30 volume that I needed to go in with initially. With my hair, I'm probably, Brad said, I'm like a level 5, almost level 4 hair, which is very dark. And so to lift my hair, I need a level 30 at minimum. So I wasn't gonna use a 40 just because it's very damaging, and the amount of times that I was going to have to bleach my hair, I knew was just way too much for me to try to go in with a 40 initially. Using whatever you do the first time, just repeat that when you're doing your roots. Don't try to change anything. Don't think you know it all if you're doing it by yourself, because you might, but at the same time, to get the same results that you got initially, take the same steps to get there. And I didn't. I thought I knew what I was doing and went in with a 20 instead of a 30, and then I had to bleach it a bunch of times, and it's just a disaster. Another mistake that I made, okay, so this is 6, adding to that 5, it's actually 6, is waiting too long to bleach my roots. So the very first time that I bleached my roots, they were very grown out. They were probably about here. When that happens, you have to bleach not your roots, but your natural hair that's grown out. The middle part between what's grown out, your roots, what's grown out, and the blonde you already have is the hardest thing to color. Just listen to me. It is going to be orange. It's going to take a lot of time to process. So just the sooner you can keep up with your roots, the better. The first time I did it, I didn't want to have to keep bleaching my roots. I don't know why I let it grow out so much, but I did. Now I don't let it get that long. I will bleach my roots sooner than later, but that's just one thing to keep in mind. It's very hard to bleach once it's grown out, and then you have blonde, and then you have root. It's just a lot going on, and it's hard. So that's another mistake that I made. And then a 4th mistake that I've made is not bleaching your hair enough times. 9 times out of 10, unless you're already some sort of blonde, you're gonna have to bleach your hair more than once. For me, most of the time, it takes me 3 times to bleach my root. Wherever my natural color is, it takes me 3 times to bleach that for it to be even remotely close to me being able to put a toner on it. Because my hair is so dark, once the bleach processes and it washes out, I get the brassiest orange the first and second time that I bleach it. By the 3rd time, it's still slightly orange, but I've learned how to counteract that orange before I tone it. So a lot of the times I would make mistakes by preemptively putting on my toner when my hair was not light enough to tone. You have to make sure that you're able to lift your hair the amount of times it needs to be lifted. And again, I did this on virgin brown hair. I did not do this on hair that was already pre-colored. There wasn't a lot of damage in my hair when I decided to go blonde, and then with the upkeep, I just was very cautious not to overlap. So I've never personally had any breakage with my hair, even though I've had to bleach it the amount of times that I've had to bleach it, just because I'm very careful and I section. Like my sections, I don't have a lot of hair, but I have at very minimum 6 sections in my hair. I part it down the middle and then 3 sections on each side, and I make sure that I hit every single one. I section my hair like crazy, but that's because I don't want breakage, I don't want overlapping, things like that. And I know how many times it's going to take for me to bleach my hair to get it lifted where I need to lift it, and that's part of the reason I take my time, because I don't don't want breakage. I don't want my hair to be compromised. So yeah, you're gonna have to bleach it. But if your hair is super processed, or your hair is not in the best condition, it's pretty damaged, I highly recommend doing a test strand. And I know we hear it all the time and we really don't want to do it. I've never wanted to do it, but it's necessary, because if your hair is already processed or you have dye at the bottom and not at the top, you're gonna want to see how your hair is going to react, because if you're as dark as me, you are gonna have to bleach it so many times, and that's just asking for a disaster. So just make sure you bleach it enough time. If you think you can't handle it, try a test strand, but it is gonna have to be bleached quite a bit of times, which is again why you need plenty of bleach, why you need plenty of developer, and why you need to be patient. So that was one of the things that really got me through this entire process, is I'm always very patient with my hair. I know the day that I start it, the next day it's probably not gonna look the best. I know it's probably gonna be a 2-day process. I need to clear my schedule. I need to, have things in place for when I'm ready to bleach my roots. So there's that. Next, okay, another mistake that I've made is overusing purple shampoo. So it always tells you on the purple shampoo to just use a tiny bit, put it through your hair, comb it through your hair. I highly recommend combing it through your hair, because if you're not sectioning in the shower, the top part and the front part of your hair is going to lean very violet for a long time. So when I first went blonde, I was putting way too much purple shampoo in my hair. It was damaging my hair because of the purple shampoo that I was using, and I was using it far too often. It was really drying out my hair, and then my hair was always kind of leaning violet at the front and at the top of my head. And it's part of the process when you are blonde, that sometimes if you use a stronger purple shampoo or purple conditioner, you might lean violet, for a few days afterwards. But I'm talking like I was constantly violet because the constant amount that I was using purple shampoo. So don't overuse your purple shampoo. Make sure you're getting a decent purple shampoo. The one that I swear by, it's in all of my blonde hair videos, is this Redken Anti-Brass. I absolutely love it because it is a very deep purple. I leave it on for like 5 to 10 minutes depending on how yellow my hair is leaning, and it just washes out the prettiest. It takes out every hint of yellow in your hair, and it's also conditioning. So if you can find a purple conditioner, I highly recommend that over a purple shampoo, but that's just me and my hair journey. So don't overuse your purple shampoo. Use it once you really start to see yellow in your hair. If you just see a slight yellow in your hair, you can use it, but I would recommend just waiting until you see a lot of yellow in your hair and it's just not your journey anymore. You can also use a toner on your hair. Again, I never did that just because I never honestly thought about it, but you can definitely retone your hair. If you use a level 10 developer with the toner, you can definitely tone your hair again. So then this is where things start to get a little crazy. This is where the exposure comes in. This is when I'm exposing myself. Just listen to me and do what you can to avoid my disasters. When I told you that I wasn't bleaching my hair enough times or wasn't using the right developer, there was a point in my journey where I had green hair. Like my hair was green. Like I'm not being dramatic, like I am being 1000% honest with you, green. And I panicked. There was not a lot of information on the internet as far as like what I should do with my green hair. How do I get this green out of my blonde hair? So if you're wondering how I got green, is because before I knew there was a such thing as blue shampoo, I went to the store and bought like a blue conditioner, which turned out to be like my purple conditioner, only it was blue dye. So don't do that. They do have blue shampoos, blue conditioners that you can apply to your hair that will take that orange out, but only if you are very orange should you use those products. Because if you are not, if there's any kind of yellow in your hair and you're putting blue on top of that, your hair is going to turn green. Because what does the color wheel tell us? The color wheel tells us that blue and yellow makes green. So I had green hair. It was very green. I had to cancel this party that I really wanted to go to because my hair was green. I have a picture of me out when my hair was green. I just kept a hat on. And luckily for me, I rock hats on a regular and I think I look super cute in hats. So it was fine for me. But if you're not a hat girl or that's not your journey, just listen to my mistakes. Do not put blue dye, blue anything on your hair if your hair is leaning just the slightest bit yellow. Don't do it. So after we were already here, after I could already see this green in my hair, I panicked. I went to the internet. Obviously I went to YouTube because that's where I've learned a lot of the things that I've learned. And I was looking and looking and looking and I could not find anything except for one video that told me how to get rid of my green, and it worked. Again, we're going back to our color wheel. The opposite of green is red. So at this time I had a purple shampoo, I had a blue dye, and then I had to go buy a red shampoo. So the amount of things that I have in my house as precaution because of the mistakes that I've made, it's just a lot. So I went to the store, I found a red shampoo. Looking back on it now, I probably should have gotten like a red conditioner, but I bought the red shampoo and I was just applying it. I just applied it everywhere to my hair that was green and I let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and I did that probably like 3 times before my green was completely gone. So thank the heavens and the earth and the angels for a red shampoo, because your girl was green and that was the only way I could get green out of my hair, was to go and put the red shampoo on top of it. You can do the red conditioner if it's thicker. I would just watch it again, do the back before you do the front, and see what happens. But that's how you get green out of your hair. If you have had blue in your hair, if you've had anything in your hair, red will take out the green in your hair. So let's go over that one more time. If you have yellow in your hair, if you've bleached your hair enough times and it is leaning yellow, you just need the yellowness to come out. Purple is your color. Purple shampoo, purple conditioner, purple. I also have a purple mousse that was just very potent for me. So just know that different products are different strengths also. Just test it. Just please test it before you put it all over your head. So the opposite of yellow is purple. The opposite of blue is orange. So if you're orange, if your hair is orange, if you're very brassy, 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't be putting any blue on top of your orange hair anyways if you're trying to get to this platinum blonde, because you're not light enough. You need to bleach your hair again. You need to process it again. It's not light enough. So if you're just trying to go from orange to blonde to platinum blonde, it's not gonna work. So you need to bleach your hair again. But if you bleach your hair a 3rd time, or you're, for whatever reason, leaning orange, blue cancels out that. I do have a blue shampoo that I've used. Just if I felt like my hair could not take another bleach, I would just put the blue shampoo on top and let it sit until it was the color that I wanted it to be. So then lastly, the opposite of green is red. That's the last one I hope you'll ever gonna need. I really hope you never have to use red on your green hair, but if you do, we all make mistakes. It happens, trust me. The opposite of green is red. So if you have green in your hair, if you accidentally do something crazy, something goes wrong that you weren't anticipating and you have green hair, put a red shampoo, put a red conditioner, watch it. Only in the places that you have the green, only in the places that you have the yellow, only in the places that you have the orange, should you be applying the opposite color wheel. Because if I were to go and put the red shampoo over all of my hair when my bottom half of my hair is perfectly platinum blonde, I would get red hair. So just be careful where you're applying these things. Know your color wheel, be patient. And I think that was pretty much it. Those are all the mistakes that I made while being blonde. Please get trims, trim your hair. When you're bleaching your hair, when you're processing your hair, even if you're not doing the bottom, when you do rinse out your roots, that bleach is getting all over your head and you are technically giving yourself some sort of bleach wash. Definitely trim your ends. It will just help your hair look healthier. My hair, as many times as I bleached it, still has some shine to it. It's not hard, it's not crispy, and that's just really how I upkeep my hair. These are all the things that I've learned while being blonde, while trying to keep up my roots, but I'm ready for this journey to be over. I'm tired of putting in the work. I'm ready to look Latina and look like myself again. I really miss having brown hair. The blonde hair was such a moment, but yeah, we will be brown very soon. So that's all for today's video. Take everything I said with a grain of salt. Again, I'm not licensed. This is just my experience, but thank you so much for being here. I will link all of the other videos of me being blonde and my journey down below. I have an entire playlist. If you need it, it is there. If you learned anything here, or you love my channel, or you just love me, please consider subscribing. We would absolutely love to have you, and that's how we get a bigger community on this platform. That's always the goal. So thank you so much for being here. See you in the next video. Bye. Lil's going to my room and she's making a lot of noise, so let's wait for her to get her life together. Snakes, what are you doing? Okay, go. Thank you. It's fine, put it on Daddy's nightstand. You can use a tiny bit. Chase!